The galaxy was wide, filled with thousands of species, millions of worlds, and countless voices. But among all those voices, one was ignored. The voice of Earth. The Galactic Council sat in its shining towers, looking down on humans like insects. "They are weak," one alien leader said. "They are fragile," another added. "They are nothing," the chamber echoed. And for years, it seemed true. Humans lived quietly on their small blue planet. Their ships were small. Their fleets were slow. Their weapons were nothing compared to the great powers of the galaxy. The council laughed. They mocked humans in speeches. They used them as examples of weakness. "See this? This is what happens when a species grows too fast," they said. But Earth did not answer. Earth was silent. Too silent. Some aliens noticed this silence. Whispers moved through the council halls. Why do they not speak? Why do they not beg for protection? Why do they not send ambassadors anymore? But each time, the whispers were drowned in laughter. "They are nothing," the council repeated. "They have no power, no courage, no voice." And so the galaxy turned away. Years passed. Trade moved across the stars. Wars burned between empires. The council grew fat with pride. But Earth remained quiet. Too quiet. One day, a small event shook the silence. A council scout ship entered the solar system. It was routine. The council always sent scouts. They wanted to remind humans of their place. The scout ship sent one message. Then nothing. The signal was gone. The ship vanished. At first, the council did not care. It was a machine failure. It was a storm on their planet. It was nothing. Another scout was sent. It too vanished. A third followed. Gone. Now the whispers returned, louder this time. "Something is wrong. Something is happening on Earth." But the council leaders only smiled. "Do not worry. They are too weak. Too small. Too fragile." But deep in the hearts of many, fear grew. Merchants reported strange things. Trade ships near human space spoke of strange lights in the void. Explosions, flashes, shadows moving faster than ships should move. Some said they saw Earth's moon glowing with strange machines. Others swore they heard human voices on secret channels, low, cold, and dangerous. The council silenced these rumors. But the galaxy listened. For the first time, other species began to look at Earth with caution. They wondered if the silence was not weakness, but something else. Then came the night when the stars shook. It was a quiet night on the edge of the Orion Arm. Council ships floated calmly, guarding the trade routes. Then the sky ripped open. Sensors screamed. Energy readings surged beyond known limits. Pilots shouted across comms. "Something is coming." But nothing appeared. Then, light. Blinding light. As if a star itself had exploded. The council fleets panicked. Is it an enemy superweapon? No, it is coming from human space. In the chambers of the council, alarms blared. Reports arrived too fast to read. Scouts burned. Stations destroyed. Entire sectors shaking with unknown energy. The council sat frozen. "What is happening?" one leader demanded. "Earth," another whispered. "It must be Earth." The chamber fell silent. For the first time in centuries, fear touched their voices. Humans had been silent. Too silent. And now, the galaxy began to understand why. The silence was not weakness. It was waiting. It was watching. It was preparing. And when the first tremors of power spread through the stars, the truth became clear. Earth was not weak. Earth was angry. The stars trembled. And the council realized, far too late, that they had never understood humanity at all. The council tried to ignore the warnings. They told themselves the missing scout ships were accidents. They said the strange energy was just space storms. They said humans were too weak to do anything. But fear had already begun to spread. Across the stars, traders whispered in dark markets. "Something is happening near Earth," they said. "I saw it with my own eyes. Light brighter than suns." Another swore, "Ships moved without engines, faster than thought. Human ships. Most laughed at these stories. But not everyone. In the great chamber of the council, a scientist was called to speak. He placed strange readings on the glowing table. Energy waves. Signals. Pulses of power too large for Earth's known level. This is impossible, one counselor shouted. Their world has no such technology. The scientist did not smile. It is real, he said. Whatever the humans are building, it is hidden. But it is growing. And it is strong. The chamber fell into arguments. Some demanded warships be sent. Others wanted spies. But most only laughed. Humans? Ha! They cannot build weapons greater than ours. They are nothing but children with toys. And so, the council did nothing. But outside the shining towers of politics, fear was growing. On a mining colony near the edge of human space, workers looked up one night and saw the stars move. Not shooting stars. Not meteors. Ships. Dozens of them. Human ships. They glowed with strange engines, silent and dark, until they vanished again into nothing. The miners sent messages. But the council never answered. Then came the first attack. It was not against the council. Not against their fleets. It was against the slavers. For centuries, alien slavers had taken humans from the edge of Earth's colonies. The council never stopped it. They did not care. Humans were weak. They were unimportant. But one night, an entire slaver fleet vanished. Not a single ship returned. The wrecks were found days later, burning, broken, and scattered across empty space. The council demanded answers. Who attacked? What empire dared? Only one survivor was found. A broken alien soldier, his mind half lost. When asked what he saw, he whispered one word. Humans. The chamber froze. Laughter turned to silence. For the first time, the council felt the edge of fear. But again, the proud voices rose. It was only luck. A trick. Humans cannot win a real war. And so, they waited. More reports arrived. Human ships spotted in forbidden space. Stations destroyed. Fleets burned. Still, the council told themselves lies. They are nothing. They cannot win. They cannot rise. But the truth was already clear. The stars themselves carried the signs. Strange waves of power. Unknown weapons. Movements no alien fleet could track. Some called it impossible. Others called it a nightmare. But the whispers spread faster than light. Earth has changed. Earth is rising. Humanity is not what we thought. On one cold night, deep in the archives of the council, an old voice spoke again. An elder alien, forgotten by most, stood before the leaders. I warned you, he said. I told you their silence was not weakness. I told you their patience was dangerous. But you laughed. The chamber grew quiet. What do you suggest, old one? A counselor asked. The elder looked around the room. His eyes were dark, his voice heavy. I suggest you pray, he said. For when the humans come, no fleet, no weapon, no empire will stand in their way. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some shouted for war. Some demanded peace. But the truth was already moving through the stars. Because far away, beyond the reach of the council's control, Earth's fleets were preparing. They had been silent for too long. Now, the silence was ending. And the galaxy was about to witness the first sign of what humans could truly do. The council chamber glowed with light. Thousands of voices echoed inside the vast hall. Leaders from every great species sat in their seats, eyes burning with pride and arrogance. Reports of human attacks filled the table before them, slaver fleets destroyed, stations gone, strange energy readings near Earth. But instead of fear, the chamber filled with laughter. Humans. They dare, one alien general scoffed. Children with fire sticks, another sneered. They only beat weak pirates and slavers. They cannot face us. The voices grew louder. Each leader tried to outdo the other in insults. Each one tried to prove that humanity was nothing. But in the corner of the chamber, an elder alien rose to speak. His skin was pale, his eyes old, his voice low. Do not laugh, he warned. This is not weakness. This is patience. The silence of Earth has always meant danger. The chamber grew quiet for a moment. Some leaders frowned. Others shifted uncomfortably. But then, one counselor slammed his fist against the table. "Silence, old fool," he shouted. "Humans are fragile. Their bones break in gravity worlds. Their ships crawl through space. Their lives are too short. What can they do against the council?" The chamber roared with approval. The elder sat down, his warning ignored once again. It was the council's mistake. Instead of preparing, they mocked. Instead of sending fleets, they delayed. Instead of unity, they argued. And while they argued, Earth prepared. The council finally decided on a plan. Not war. Not defense. Spies. Small ships were sent toward human space. Silent, hidden, fast. Their mission was simple: observe Earth, find proof, and return. But none came back. One by one, the spy ships vanished into the black. The council received no signals, no survivors, no wreckage. It was as if the void itself swallowed them whole. Rumors spread. Humans are hunting our spies. Humans know we are watching. Humans are stronger than we thought. But in the chamber, the proud voices drowned the whispers. They are nothing, the generals repeated. Do not waste fleets on insects. Then came the turning point. A massive fortress stood on the edge of council space, guarding a major trade route. It had never been defeated. Its walls were iron. Its guns could shatter moons. The fortress was a symbol of power. And one night, without warning, it vanished. Council fleets rushed to the scene. What they found was not a fortress. Only wreckage. Broken steel. Floating bodies. Silence. The commanders trembled. No empire had dared to attack such a stronghold. Only one name whispered across the stars. Humans. Back in the chamber, panic spread. How did they do this? What weapons did they use? No ships were seen. How can this be? But again, pride drowned fear. They only destroyed one station. We will build another. We are stronger. More reports arrived. Alien colonies near human borders vanished. Entire fleets burned in seconds. Trade lines collapsed. Still, the council laughed. Still, they mocked. Still, they believed their numbers would protect them. It was their greatest mistake. One night, as the chamber argued once more, the elder stood again. His voice shook, but his eyes were sharp. "You fools," he said. "Do you not see? Every attack is precise. Every strike is perfect. Humans do not waste. They do not brag. They do not warn. They simply move and kill." Silence filled the hall. For a moment, even the proud generals had no answer. For a moment, they felt the truth. For a moment, they feared. But then the lies returned. They cannot touch the core worlds. They cannot face our full fleets. We are the council. We are eternal. The elder lowered his head. His voice was almost a whisper. "Then you will learn the truth too late," he said. "Because humanity has already chosen its war." And far away, in the silent dark, Earth's fleets prepared their next strike. The stars were calm on the border of council space. Dozens of ships drifted near the great fortress of Vera Prime, guarding trade routes and colonies. It was a night like any other. The soldiers were relaxed. They laughed, they played games, they spoke of their families. For centuries, no enemy had ever dared attack a fortress of the council. They believed themselves safe. But safety is the first lie before war. It began with silence. Sensors blinked once, then went dark. The fortress commander frowned. "Check the systems." "Sir, all scanners are reading. Nothing. Nothing. That is impossible." The emptiness spread. Radar failed. Long-range sight failed. Even comms began to hiss with static. Then, a single signal appeared. Not alien. Not council. Human. The commander's blood ran cold. "Raise shields. Prepare weapons," he shouted. Alarms screamed through the fortress. Soldiers scrambled to their stations. Pilots rushed to their ships. But it was too late. From the black of space, shapes appeared. At first, they looked like shadows. Silent. Motionless. Then their engines burned, bright, sharp, and unnatural. Human warships. They did not look like council ships. They were darker, sharper, smaller. But every edge, every weapon, glowed with deadly precision. The fortress opened fire. Beams of light cut through the void. Missiles roared forward. The humans did not flinch. They moved like ghosts. Their ships vanished, then reappeared behind the enemy. Missiles missed. Cannons struck nothing but empty space. And then, the humans fired. The first blast ripped through a council cruiser. It split in two, fire exploding from its core. The crew had no time to scream. More blasts followed. Not hundreds. Not thousands. Only a few. Precise. Perfect. Deadly. Every shot from the humans found its mark. Every explosion tore through steel and bone. Entire ships vanished in seconds. The fortress commander shouted into comms. All fleets, defend the station. Do not let them through. But the fleets were already burning. One by one, council ships were erased from the stars. Inside the fortress, panic grew. Sir, their weapons, our shields cannot stop them. What are these readings? The power is beyond our science. They are tearing us apart. The commander's voice shook. This cannot be. They are only humans. But the truth was burning before his eyes. The humans did not roar. They did not threaten. They did not speak. They were silent. Only their weapons spoke. The fortress shook as human fire tore through its walls. Steel bent. Lights failed. Explosions roared through the halls. Soldiers screamed as fire and vacuum swallowed them. The commander fell to his knees, watching his great fortress collapse. He raised his head to the burning sky. Through shattered glass, he saw them, human ships moving like predators in the night. And for the first time in his life, he understood fear. When the last explosion came, the fortress of Vera Prime was gone. Not damaged. Not captured. Erased. The survivors floated in broken escape pods, silent, terrified. They whispered to each other in disbelief. They were humans. Only humans. News spread like wildfire. Every corner of the galaxy heard the story. The Council Fortress, the pride of the border, destroyed in one night by a fleet of Earth. Merchants trembled. Soldiers panicked. Citizens whispered in fear. Humans have returned. Humans are rising. Humans cannot be stopped. Back in the council chamber, silence filled the hall. Reports lay on the table. Footage of burning ships, destroyed fleets, and human weapons too advanced to explain. The leaders stared in shock. Some denied it. It is a trick. A lie. Others shook with fear. They will come for us next. But the elder, who had warned them for years, only closed his eyes. I told you, he whispered. Patience is their weapon. Silence is their shield. And now, their anger is here. The chamber trembled with fear. Because all knew the truth. The first strike had come. And it was only the beginning. The news of Vera Prime spread faster than light. Every corner of the galaxy heard it. The fortress that had stood for centuries, the fortress that had never fallen, was gone. And who destroyed it? Not an empire. Not a rival fleet. Not a council rebellion. Humans. The word shook the stars. In markets across alien worlds, merchants whispered in fear. They destroyed the fortress in one night. With only a handful of ships. No warning, no demands, just fire and silence. Buyers and sellers looked over their shoulders, afraid to even speak the word Earth. Some refused to trade near human space. Others shut down routes completely. The flow of goods slowed, and panic grew. On distant colonies, children asked their parents, "Are the humans coming here?" The parents had no answer. They only held their children close and prayed. In the military halls of the council, commanders shouted in anger. They cannot have such weapons. It is impossible. But fear trembled in their voices. They had seen the footage. Ships erased in seconds. Fortresses cut open like paper. and no human ship lost. The Council tried to hide the truth. They told the galaxy it was a small attack, nothing more. They said reinforcements were coming. They promised safety. But the galaxy did not believe them. Every race, every empire, every outpost remembered how the Council had mocked humans for centuries. And now, the same humans had struck a blow no one thought possible. Fear spread like a storm. In the dark corners of space, old enemies of Earth began to worry. For years, they had used humans as slaves, as workers, as tools. They thought Earth was weak, powerless to fight back. But now, entire slaver fleets were gone. Colonies vanished. Masters found their chains broken, their slaves gone, their stations burning. The humans were not only striking at the Council. They were striking at everyone who had ever hurt them. And the galaxy had hurt them deeply. One night, a refugee fleet arrived at a Council world. Broken ships, burned survivors, trembling voices. They came from nowhere, one alien whispered. They moved like shadows. We begged for mercy. They gave us none. The survivor broke down, sobbing. They were humans. The crowd listened in silence. For the first time, even common citizens began to doubt the Council's power. If the humans could burn fortresses, could burn fleets, what could stop them from burning worlds? Across the stars, species began to argue. Some demanded peace with Earth. Offer them treaties. Give them respect. Others shouted for war. Crush them before they grow stronger. But no one agreed. And while they argued, the humans moved silently, striking where no one expected. The Council leaders gathered in their chamber once again. Fear showed in their eyes, though they tried to hide it. This is nothing, one said, though his voice shook. A single fortress. We have thousands more. Thousands more, another snapped. And how many before they fall? Do you not see? This is not luck. This is not chance. Every move they make is perfect. Every strike cuts where it hurts most. But still, pride drowned reason. They are only humans, the generals insisted. They cannot win against the full strength of the Council. Yet in the silence of the chamber, the elder spoke once more. You are blind, he said. You believe in numbers. You believe in power. But humans believe in survival. And survival makes them stronger than all of you. His words echoed, but no one listened. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, fear became truth. Wherever human fleets appeared, alien chains were broken. Slaves were freed. Tyrants were destroyed. And the humans gave no speeches, no warnings, no mercy. Only silence. And fire. In the void of space, stars seemed to tremble. Entire empires began to wonder not if the humans would come, but when. The galaxy had mocked Earth. The galaxy had enslaved Earth. The galaxy had called Earth weak. Now, fear replaced mockery. Silence replaced laughter. Because every race, every world, every leader knew one terrible truth. If humans could destroy a fortress in one night, then nowhere, no world, no city, no council was safe. And as fear spread, humanity grew stronger. The first strike was only the beginning. The galaxy demanded answers. How could humans destroy fortresses that had stood for centuries? How could a small planet defeat fleets larger than worlds? The Council told lies. They have stolen weapons. They used tricks from other empires. They got lucky. But whispers grew louder. Whispers of hidden strength. Whispers of secrets buried deep on Earth. Far away, in the dark of space, survivors told their stories. I saw their ships, one alien trader said. They moved without sound, faster than anything I've known. A soldier whispered, trembling. Their weapons, shields mean nothing. One shot and our ships turned to fire. And then came the strangest whisper of all. They were ready. They have always been ready. The Council tried to silence these stories. But the truth could not be silenced. Because every time humans struck, their power grew clearer. In secret archives, old records of Earth were pulled out again. Historians studied human wars. They watched footage of ancient Earth battles. And the more they saw, the colder their blood became. Look at them, one alien scholar said. They fought each other for thousands of years. Endless wars. Endless death. And still they rose again. Another added. They do not fear destruction. They learn from it. They grow from it. The council realized something too late. Humanity's greatest weapon was not their technology. It was their history. While the council mocked them, Earth had been watching. Every war in the galaxy was a lesson. Every battle was a book. Every empire's mistake was written down and studied. Humans collected knowledge like others collected jewels. They hid their strength, building in silence. They created weapons no one had ever seen. Ships designed not to intimidate, but to kill. And when they were ready, they struck with perfect precision. An intercepted message confirmed the worst fears. It came from a broken human channel, captured by accident. The council decoded it with shaking hands. The message was simple. We have learned. We are ready. We will never kneel again. The galaxy trembled. Because now they understood. Earth had never been weak. Earth had been patient. Patience more terrifying than any army. Patience sharper than any blade. The council called another emergency meeting. Leaders shouted across the chamber. They hid this from us. They studied us like prey. This is war beyond anything we know. The elder rose again. His voice was heavy, his face grim. I warned you. I told you silence is never empty. Silence means preparation. And they have prepared longer than any of you can imagine. The chamber grew cold. Even the proud generals had no words now. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, humans revealed more of their secrets. Slaver chains shattered. Entire empires toppled in days. Not through brute force, but through precision. Every strike was perfect. Every attack was planned years in advance. It was as if humans already knew their enemies before the battles began. And maybe they did. Because they had studied everyone. Every species. Every fleet. Every weakness. The galaxy was an open book, and humans had read every page. Whispers turned into fear. Fear turned into terror. Some empires begged for peace. Others tried to hide. But none escaped. Because when humans moved, they did not move like conquerors. They moved like hunters. Silent. Patient. Certain. On Earth itself, stories spread of vast underground cities. Factories that never stopped. Training halls where soldiers were raised from birth. Libraries filled with alien war records. Labs where scientists built weapons the galaxy had never seen. The galaxy thought Earth was quiet because it was weak. But Earth was quiet because it was preparing. And now, the preparations were complete. The stars trembled again as another human fleet rose from the void. The message was clear. The secret was no longer hidden. Humanity had waited long enough. Now, their silence was broken. The galaxy would learn the truth. That patience, knowledge, and anger combined into something unstoppable. Earth had been weak once. But no longer. Now, Earth was the storm. The galaxy had no choice left. Humans were no longer whispers. They were fire. They were thunder. They were war itself. And so, the Galactic Council made one final decision. They would gather every fleet. Every ship. Every weapon. Every soldier. A last stand. A wall of power to block Earth's rise. The Great Armada assembled in the void. Thousands of ships from hundreds of worlds. Battleships the size of cities. Carriers that could launch storms of fighters. Weapons that could tear planets apart. It was the largest force the galaxy had ever seen. An ocean of steel and light. A storm waiting to be unleashed. And at the center, the council generals stood proud. This time, they will break, one said. No species can stand against the united galaxy, another declared. But deep down, they were afraid. Because even as they gathered their power, Earth did not move. Earth did not answer. Earth was silent again. The silence grew heavy. Every admiral, every captain, every soldier felt it. It was the same silence that had come before the storm. They are waiting, whispered one officer. But for what? At last, humanity spoke. One human transmission cut across the galaxy. It was calm. It was steady. It was terrifying. The voice said only this. You call this your last stand? Then we will end it here. No more chains. No more lies. This galaxy belongs to no council. It belongs to the free. And then the signal ended. Moments later, the stars shook again. The human fleets appeared. Not thousands. Not even hundreds. But only dozens. The council laughed. Is this a joke? They bring so few ships against our armada. But their laughter did not last. The first strike came. A single human ship fired. One shot. One beam of white fire. And an entire dreadnought, the pride of the council fleet, was gone. Not damaged. Not broken. Gone. The galaxy watched in horror as the impossible happened again and again. Every human strike was perfect. Every shot tore through ships that were thought to be indestructible. Council fleets fought back. Thousands of weapons fired at once. The void burned with light and fury. But when the fire cleared, the human ships still stood. Their shields shimmered like unbroken walls. Their movements were like shadows. Fast. Silent. Deadly. The council had brought numbers. But numbers meant nothing against precision. As the battle raged, panic spread through the council armada. Captains shouted orders. Generals screamed for reinforcements. But chaos drowned them. Because humans did not fight like the others. They did not fight to survive. They fought to end. One by one, the council's strongest ships fell. Massive carriers turned into burning wrecks. Fortresses shattered. Entire fleets vanished in moments. The council leaders, watching from their grand command station, felt despair for the first time. This is impossible, one whispered. No, this is humanity, said another, trembling. And then the humans revealed their final strike. From the void, a massive shadow appeared. Not a fleet. Not a weapon. Something larger. Something older. A human supership. Built in silence. Hidden for decades. Its size dwarfed even the greatest council battleships. And with one command, it fired. The council's command station shook. Screens filled with fire. Ships vanished into nothing. The galaxy's proudest armada, the shield of the council, was broken in a single moment. Silence followed. Not human silence. But the silence of death. The silence of defeat. Across the galaxy, billions watched. And for the first time, they understood the truth. The council was not eternal. The council was not unbreakable. Because Earth had broken it. The few survivors fled into the void. Scattered. Shattered. Their voices filled with fear. Run, run, the humans are coming. And everywhere, in every corner of the galaxy, one truth spread. The last stand of the council had failed. The age of the council was over. And the age of Earth had begun. The battle was over. The void was silent. Where once the galaxy's greatest fleet had stood, now there was only wreckage, burning metal drifting like broken stars. The council's last stand had failed. Their pride had been crushed. Their power shattered. And Earth stood victorious. Across the galaxy, billions watched in silence. In marketplaces, in palaces, in dark hidden corners, every eye was fixed on the human ships, standing tall among the ruins. Whispers spread like fire. They defeated the council. The council is gone. Earth rules now. But fear followed those whispers. If humans could destroy the council, then who could stop them? The survivors of the council were dragged into hiding. Some generals refused to speak. Some cried out in anger. But most were silent, broken by the truth they had seen. One alien captain, trembling, whispered to his crew. I saw their eyes. Cold, steady, unshaken. They do not fight for power. They fight for something far worse. They fight for freedom. In the chambers of fallen worlds, rulers argued. Submit to Earth, one shouted. Never. We must resist, another cried. But deep down, they knew resistance was hopeless. The council had united thousands of worlds, and even that was not enough. What could a single world do? Fear turned into surrender. Surrender turned into obedience. One by one, empires lowered their banners. One by one, they accepted Earth's rule. On Earth itself, silence remained. There were no parades. No cheers. No celebrations. The humans did not rejoice in their victory. They only worked. Ships were repaired. Weapons were reloaded. Soldiers trained harder than before. Because for humans, victory was not the end. It was only the beginning. The galaxy wanted to believe Earth would become a new council. A new empire. A new master. But then, a message came. A message sent from Earth to every corner of the stars. The human voice was calm, steady, and strong. We are not your rulers. We are not your chains. We are not your masters. We are the proof that no council, no empire, no tyrant will last forever. We fight so no one will kneel again. The message shook the galaxy. Some felt hope. Some felt fear. But all listened. Because this was not the voice of conquerors. This was the voice of something far more dangerous. The voice of freedom. But freedom came with fire. Humans did not spare the cruel. Slave markets burned. Tyrants fell. Worlds that had suffered for centuries rose again, led by human fleets. To the oppressed, Earth was a savior. To the rulers, Earth was a nightmare. Because humans had no interest in thrones. They only had interest in breaking them. The galaxy trembled, not just from fear, but from change. Old powers vanished. New voices rose. And behind it all, Earth moved silently, like a shadow. The council was gone, but the lesson remained. Silence is never weakness. Patience is never defeat. And when Earth rises, no one is safe. In the ruins of the council's great station, a lone alien scholar stood. He looked at the wreckage, the twisted steel, the broken banners. He whispered to himself. They called Earth weak. They called Earth small. But in truth, Earth was the storm. And now, the galaxy belongs to the storm. The stars burned above him, endless and cold. But somewhere, deep in the void, the humans watched. Silent. Waiting. Preparing once again. Because Earth was not finished. Earth was never finished. The galaxy had only seen the beginning.